Okay, guys, welcome to my first ever review of Game of Thrones. This is a bit different for me, I know, but I thought I would try my hand at it because I love to talk about this. I hope you're a fan like I am. I've been a fan since season 1, year 1. This has been in my life for 7 years now, and I'm excited and sad that it's coming to an end. Season 7, episode 6. Don't know the name of the title of this episode. Don't know. No. I did, and now I don't. Now it's gone. You know, it doesn't really matter. Suicide Squad, everybody's calling it that. So, I'm going to talk about... I had some pros and cons with this episode, and I'm going to talk about the pros first. I really enjoy the Jon and Jorah and Tormund and the Hound and like all just having pally chats with each other about silliness or about important things. We've been waiting so long for these characters to finally meet up with each other and get together. I love the effects. I thought it was really well done. Everything looked great. I love when the Hound hits the the white in his face with the rock. It's super comical. I don't understand why water is problematic for them, but they don't want to get in it. I guess they don't want to get sucked in. He doesn't want to lose more of his army, so they're all just hanging out there because they have nothing but time because they're all dead. It was really a melee. It was like a bar fight. They were doing pretty good, but you know, they were pretty outnumbered. And so that makes sense that they weren't able to succeed. I really like the emotions between Daenerys and Jon. I'm not keen on the romantic aspect, but it doesn't weird me out as much because they weren't raised as... Okay, so if you don't know, spoiler alert, it's pretty definite that Rhaegar Targaryen married Lyanna Stark. Rhaegar is Daenerys' brother, older brother, and Lyanna is Ned's sister. In the previous episode, it was that Rhaegar's marriage was annulled by a maester, and he was married in a secret ceremony in Dorne. We assume that's to Lyanna. Jon Snow is the legitimate heir to the throne, and he is a Targaryen and a Stark. And I really like the dynamic between him and Daenerys. I really love that they seem to have... I think he makes her better. She's kind of like, she has a lot of goodness in her. And I think she would be a competent leader, but she's missing a little something. And I think Dario said this to her, that she's not a queen, she's a conqueror. And Jon is more of a king, and I think they work well together. She wants a throne, but Jon wants to give all for the people. She wants the people to give all to her and kind of like bend the knee and submit and give her the crown that she deserves. But Jon, on the other hand, does not give a shit about the throne, and he gives all for his people. And so they are a good combination in that respect. She sees this wounded man who has given all, who has been trying to convince people, guys, some really, really bad stuff is happening. And you really need to see it. Please believe me. And she's seen this, and nobody's believed him, and he's fought this battle by himself to protect all of them. And she is humbled by him, and she is humbled by his sacrifices and the wounds that he suffered and the things that he's gone through. And she realizes something she lacks in herself, that kind of humility. And when he submits himself to her, she is truly touched by it. And when she says, I hope that I deserve it. And that's very touching, and I really like that. I thought Daenerys' reaction to her dragon dying was very appropriate. I have lost people close to me, and you do not just break down into immediate tears like a lot of the stuff in Hollywood where you just, like, people just start sobbing and screaming. No. There just wasn't time to react that way. So for me, I felt like that was perfect. Her reaction was perfect. You can see she's shocked and stunned and sad and gutted and what just happened. I mean, seriously, she is devastated, and I felt like it was very accurate. So that's all the things that I really loved about the episode. Not a long list. I do have some problems with the episode. Let us start first with the plan, which the whole episode is based around, which is the idea they're going to go just like capture some whites. Why? I mean, Tyrion and Daenerys have a conversation about this in the episode itself, which I'm glad they at least recognize. It's a little meta, but it's, Cersei is ruthless and does not care about anybody but herself and her own goals. And she probably really doesn't care. Even if you convince her, she'll use you. And Tyrion knows this, and he admits that he knows this, and it's like, why are we why? Why are we bothering to bring her? I don't understand. Like, she already has a zombie. She already knows it's possible. She loves Qyburn and his dark magic. Like, she already knows that shit's for real. Even if she's convinced, she'll just go, great, and she'll try and come up with a plan to use you to her own benefit to beat them, and then walk in and take over. And he knows it, and they talk about it. She's gonna lay a trap. She's not gonna really listen to them. Why? Why would you risk your lives? And Daenerys, when she flies in and saves them all, why couldn't she have done that the whole time? I mean, just to prove to herself that there are White Walkers and the Night King. Why couldn't she have just flown over? Why couldn't her and Jon have gotten on a draggy? Why couldn't they have gotten on drogy and just flew over? And then she'd be like, oh my god, there's a lot of those things that you were talking about, Jon. And he'd have been, yes, there are. And then that would be it. And then she would be willing. She's like, right, let's just wrap up this battle with Cersei real quick, and then we're heading to the north. Like, that's all that needs to happen. They don't need Cersei. They have just decimated her forces. She has no power. She's paid off her debt. She's got a really good credit score. Like, she's up in the 99.9 percentile with the Iron Bank. But what can she do with that other than hire a bunch of mercenaries that are going to go, oh my god, the undead? I don't think so. Just like Bronn said with dragons. They're going to be like, well, thank you for the paycheck, but never mind. So I don't understand what she has to offer. I don't understand what they think they're going to get from her. And I just don't see the point of this super dangerous mission other than they need a dragon to die. And the only way they can do that is to set up this plot point. I am absolutely fed up to the hilt with Arya and Sansa at the minute. Actually, I like Sansa more than I ever thought I would, and Arya is irritating me. I am fairly confident this is a setup for a grand reveal of some kind, in the fact that I do not believe for a minute that they are really this stupid. If they are really just this stupid, if we're doing a seasons past of Arya just walking through Bravos, la 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 la, when assassins are looking for her that are like hardcore and wear other people's faces, and she's just walking around with her hands behind her back like nothing's wrong. If we're doing another one of those for Arya, when she's supposed to have learned to be badass and learned to be so smart and learned to claim her name right and be a faceless man, like, if this is not just some big setup, if it is not revealed in the last episode that is what is happening, I am livid. Because Arya and Sansa are so much smarter than that. They should be, at this point, so much smarter than that. And the thing that makes me hopeful that that's what's happening is that Littlefinger this whole season, Sansa has had no time for. Sansa has been like, no. That's that Meghan Trainor song. My name is no. No. Like, she's been like that the whole time with Littlefinger this season. Like, like with Bran, when he got the dagger, she's like, why do you have it? He only gives stuff to people who, you know, he wants to use them. Like, I remember in one of the episodes, I cracked up laughing because he was like walking beside her and she's like, what do you want? Littlefinger. Like, she's like, what do you want? Like, she's so cranky around him. So I don't like that whole scene where she pulls him into the room and is like confessing, and like, I just don't believe that scene because it doesn't mesh with the way she's treated him in the other episodes and the way she behaves around him. And then he suggests Brienne, using her as a ploy in between the sisters, and she sends Brienne away. If they do it where Arya or Sansa hurt each other or kill one another, or that they didn't plan this, I am going to be so mad with this show because it's a stupid story if that's the case. If it's not, then it's a good story and it's a good storyline and it's clever. But if it isn't, it is a terrible storyline. It just makes them both look stupid. So, like, yeah, not happy with that storyline. Moving on, moving swiftly on. I'm just ready for them to find out who they are. I'm ready for them to find out that they are, you know, that Jon and Daenerys are related. I wonder how they'll react to that. It was gonna be like, I really like you, but now I know I'm your aunt, and now it's awkward. You know, I don't know how they're gonna react to that. Are they gonna sleep together before they find that out? How awkward is that gonna be? I'm so ready for Bran to be useful. Bran has spent 7 seasons building up his powers, his quote-unquote powers, and all he's done is go into some ravens at this point. And I'm really ready for this to be of use and to do something cool. Like, you know, I'm just waiting. Like, we've put so much effort and involvement and investment in Bran, and like his whole survival storyline took up a lot of time, and do something with it. Just stop being creepy and hanging out with trees. It's weird, Bran. Just give us something, okay? Just give us something. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this little ramble. I love Game of Thrones. Do not get me wrong. If anything I have criticized in here, it's just a conversation. It's not a critique. I am not a professional reviewer. And I just am a big fan, and I am just talking and venting out my frustrations at the Void, and maybe the Void will answer back. So please do answer back if you enjoy this, and I will be reviewing the last episode as well. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one, or I'll hear you. You'll hear me. Yeah, you'll hear me in the next one. All right, bye.